Michael knew he should say no, knew that accepting would be crossing yet another line, blurring yet another boundary. Going to a restaurant was one thing. Being alone in her apartment, in the space right next to his, was something else entirely. "Sure," he heard himself say. "What time?" "7. I'll text you when it's ready." After the pizza was gone, Michael headed back to his apartment, exhausted and somehow wired at the same time. His phone was full of messages he'd been ignoring, Marcus checking in, a client following up on a project, his sister sending memes. He answered Marcus first, helped her move in. "Don't start." The response was immediate, bruh. "What?" "You know what? You're doing the thing." "What thing?" "The thing where you let people in, and then can't get them out." Michael stared at the message, at the truth of it. He was doing the thing. He knew he was doing the thing. And somehow he couldn't stop himself. "I'm being a good neighbor." "If you say so. Just remember what I said about boundaries." Michael didn't respond. Instead, he lay down on his couch, stared at the wall he now shared with Emily, and tried to figure out when exactly he'd lost control of the situation. Through the wall, he could hear her moving around, unpacking, settling in, making herself at home 20 feet from his own front door. His phone buzzed again. Not Marcus this time. At Emily Rose_LA, "Thanks again for today. You're a lifesaver." The heart emoji felt significant, more than friendly but not quite romantic, hovering in that ambiguous space where everything and nothing was happening at the same time. Michael stared at the message for a long moment before typing back. Anytime. And he meant it. That was the problem. Sunday evening, Michael stood outside Emily's door at 7:03 p.m., holding a bottle of wine he'd spent too long picking out at Trader Joe's. He could hear music inside, something jazzy and old school, the kind of thing people played when they wanted to seem sophisticated. Could smell something cooking that actually smelled good, which surprised him. He knocked. Emily opened the door in a sundress and apron, her hair down, barefoot. She looked domestic in a way that felt deliberately staged but somehow still worked. "You made it." She accepted the wine, examined the label. "This is perfect, thank you." Come in, come in." The apartment had transformed. All the boxes were gone, everything unpacked and arranged like she'd lived there for months instead of days. Candles on the coffee table, throw pillows on the couch, art on the walls. Plants in the corners that definitely hadn't been there yesterday. "How did you do all this in one day?" Michael asked, genuinely impressed. "I had help. A friend came over this afternoon." She didn't elaborate on which friend, led him to the kitchen instead. "I'm making chicken piccata. I hope you're not vegetarian or anything." "Not vegetarian." "Good." She handed him a wine opener. "Make yourself useful while I finish this." Michael opened the wine while Emily moved around the kitchen with surprising competence. The chicken was already cooking, capers and lemon in a pan that smelled restaurant quality. She'd set the small dining table by the window, real plates, real silverware, cloth napkins. The whole production. "You really can cook," he observed. "I told you I could follow a recipe." She plated the food with the same attention to detail she gave her Instagram posts. Artful, intentional, photo-ready. "My mom taught me. Said a woman should always be able to feed herself and anyone else she wants to keep around." Smart woman. She was. Past tense. Michael caught it but didn't push. They sat at the table, the city lights visible through the window. Michael took a bite of the chicken, and it was actually good. Really good. "This is amazing," he said. Emily beamed. Yeah. Where'd you learn to make this?" "YouTube mostly. And lots of practice. When you're trying to be an influencer, you have to be good at a lot of things. Cooking, photography, styling, writing. It's like being a one-person production company." "That sounds exhausting." "It is." She took a sip of wine. "But it's also freedom, you know? I'm not dependent on anyone. I make my own money, set my own schedule, control my own brand. After being so dependent on my ex, that matters." There was that word again, dependent. Emily used it like a shield, justifying everything she did as reaction to past trauma. Michael recognized the pattern because he'd seen it in others, done it himself after bad relationships. But something about the way Emily wielded it felt more calculated. "Can I ask you something?" Michael said. "And you can tell me if it's too personal." "Ask." How do you afford all this? He gestured around the apartment at the designer touches and expensive details. I'm not trying to be rude, I'm just curious. You said your credit wasn't great, but you've got a Mercedes, designer clothes, this apartment. The Instagram following must be pretty lucrative. Emily's expression didn't change, but Michael saw her hand tighten on her wine glass. It is. More than people think. And I'm careful with my money. I know how to make it work. But you said the apartment rejected you initially because of your income ratio. They did. Because I'm self-employed and my income is irregular. On paper, I don't look as stable as someone with a salary. But my uncle co-signing fixed that. She met his eyes, held them. Why are you asking? Do you think I'm lying about something? No, Michael backtracked, realizing he'd pushed too far. I'm just trying to understand. That's all. Understand what? How I could possibly survive without a man supporting me. There was an edge to her voice now. Because I've heard that before. My ex used to say the same thing. Used to tell me I'd never make it on my own, that I needed him. That's not what I meant. Then what did you mean? Michael set down his fork, tried to find the right words. I meant that you're impressive. That you've built something from nothing and made it work. I was curious about how you did it, because I'm trying to do something similar with my film work. The tension held for another beat, then released. Emily's shoulders dropped. Her expression softened. I'm sorry, she said quietly. I get defensive about money stuff. About people questioning whether I've earned what I have. It's a trigger. I get that. They ate in silence for a moment, the jazz music filling the space between them. The truth is, Emily said eventually, I've made some choices I'm not proud of. Dated men who helped me out financially when I was struggling. Let them pay for things, buy me things. Some people would call that using people. I call it survival. I'm not judging you. Aren't you, though? She looked at him, vulnerable again. You're sitting here doing the math, trying to figure out if I'm a con artist or just resourceful. I can see it on your face. She wasn't wrong. Michael was doing exactly that. I think, he said carefully, that we all do what we need to do to survive. And sometimes the line between resourceful and manipulative is really thin. And which side do you think I'm on? I don't know yet. Emily smiled at that. A real smile, not the performed ones he'd seen before. At least you're honest. They finished dinner talking about lighter things, movies they'd seen, places in LA they loved, stories from their childhoods that felt safe to share. The tension dissipated, replaced by something easier. By the time they moved to the couch with their second glasses of wine, Michael had almost forgotten the earlier interrogation. Emily put on a movie, some romantic comedy that was trending on Netflix. They sat at opposite ends of the couch at first, maintaining appropriate distance. But as the movie progressed and the wine bottle emptied, the space between them closed. Michael wasn't sure who moved first. Maybe it was gradual, both of them shifting incrementally until their sides were touching. Maybe Emily had been the one to lean in, or maybe he'd been the one to close the gap. It didn't matter. What mattered was the warmth of her beside him, the smell of her perfume, the way she laughed at the jokes in the movie and her shoulder shook against his. This is nice, she said during a quiet moment, her head tilting toward his shoulder. Not quite resting on it, but close enough that he could feel the possibility. Yeah, Michael agreed. I'm glad you moved in next door. I'm glad I moved in next door to you. She looked up at him, her face close enough that he could count her eyelashes. You make LA feel less lonely. Michael should have pulled back, should have maintained distance, should have remembered that this was exactly what Marcus had warned him about. Instead, he stayed exactly where he was. Emily's phone rang, shattering the moment. She pulled back, checked the screen, and her expression darkened. It's him again. He's been calling all day. Your ex? Yeah. She silenced it. He won't stop. He's pissed that I'm here in the building. Keeps saying I did this on purpose to mess with him. Did you? Emily looked at him, something unreadable in her expression. Would it matter if I did? Before Michael could answer, she stood up, moving to the window. He made my life hell for 2 years. Controlled everything I did, everywhere I went. And when I finally got the courage to leave, he acted like I was the villain. Like I was the one who'd done something wrong. That's not fair to you. No, it's not. She turned back to face him. So yeah, maybe part of me wanted him to see me thriving. Wanted him to know I didn't need him. Is that so wrong? Yes, Michael thought. It was manipulative and petty, and exactly the kind of thing healthy people didn't do. I get it, he said instead. Emily came back to the couch, but she didn't sit as close this time. The moment had passed, broken by the phone call and the reminder that her ex-boyfriend lived somewhere in this building. That Michael was part of whatever game she was playing, whether he wanted to be or not. I should probably go, Michael said, even though it was only 9:30. Yeah, okay. Emily walked him to the door. Thanks for coming. And for being honest earlier. About not knowing which side I'm on. Thanks for dinner. It really was great. They stood in her doorway, that awkward space between hug and handshake and something more. Emily solved it by leaning in and kissing his cheek. Quick, friendly, but lingering just long enough to feel intentional. Good night, neighbor, she said. Good night. Michael walked the 20 feet to his own door, aware of her watching him the entire way. Once inside, he leaned against the door and tried to process the evening. His phone buzzed. At Emily_Rose_LA, I had a really good time tonight. Another heart emoji. Another step closer to something Michael couldn't quite name. He didn't respond right away. Instead, he sat on his couch, on the other side of the wall from Emily, and tried to figure out what the hell he was doing. The answer came in the form of another text. This one from Marcus. You alive? Haven't heard from you all day. I'm alive. Had dinner with Emily. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. And I don't know what I'm doing. That makes 2 of us. Michael set his phone down and stared at the wall. Through it, he could hear Emily moving around, cleaning up from dinner, living her life parallel to his, separated by inches of drywall and whatever game she was playing. He should stay away. He should absolutely stay away. But he knew he wouldn't. The next 2 weeks fell into a rhythm that felt both natural and completely manufactured. Monday, they ran into each other in the lobby. Emily heading to a meeting, she was vague about with whom, Michael coming back from a shoot. They talked for 10 minutes, long enough for Emily to mention she was having trouble with her internet and for Michael to offer to take a look at her router that evening. He spent an hour in her apartment, fixing a router that probably just needed to be reset, drinking the tea she made, listening to stories about her day. When he left, she thanked him with another cheek kiss, this one lasting a fraction of a second longer than the last. Wednesday, they happened to get their mail at the same time. Emily complained about the building's washing machines. One was broken, the other had eaten her favorite top. Michael mentioned he had an in-unit washer-dryer combo. Emily asked if she could possibly use it, just this once, until the building machines got fixed. She showed up that night with a laundry basket of expensive clothes and her laptop, said she had some content to edit while the wash ran. They ended up ordering Thai food and watching another movie. When her clothes were done, Michael helped her fold them, an intimacy that felt more significant than it should have. Friday, Emily knocked on his door at 11 p.m. She'd locked herself out of her apartment, she said. Could she wait in his place while she called the emergency building maintenance? The maintenance guy took 2 hours to show up. By then, Emily had fallen asleep on Michael's couch, curled up under the throw blanket his sister had given him. Michael had covered her with a second blanket, turned off most of the lights, and tried to work on his laptop while hyper-aware of her presence. When maintenance finally arrived, Emily had apologized profusely, thanked Michael for being such a good friend, and disappeared into her apartment with a sleepy smile. Saturday, nothing. Michael didn't see her at all. He told himself he wasn't disappointed, told himself the break was good, necessary. Spent the day with Marcus, who'd noticed Michael checking his phone more than usual. You're in deep, Marcus had said over beers. I'm not in anything. You're washing her clothes, man. You're watching movies at midnight on weeknights. You're doing the exact thing I told you not to do. We're just friends. Marcus had laughed at that. Yeah, okay. Whatever you need to tell yourself. Sunday, Emily texted asking if he wanted to get breakfast. There was this place in Echo Park she'd been dying to try. Michael said yes. They ate kiloquails and drank too much coffee and talked about everything and nothing. Emily wore minimal makeup and looked younger, almost innocent. She told stories about her childhood that felt true, a mother who died when she was 16, a father who checked out emotionally long before that. Growing up fast, learning to take care of herself, building walls to protect the soft parts. Michael told her about his own family, his mom who worried too much, his sister who was brilliant and slightly judgmental, his dad who'd never understood why Michael wanted to make movies instead of something practical. It felt real in a way their other interactions hadn't. Like maybe underneath all the performance, Emily was actually a person. Someone complicated and damaged and trying her best. On the walk back to their building, Emily slipped her arm through his. "Thanks for this. For being, I don't know, easy to talk to. Anytime. I mean it. I haven't had someone I could just be myself with in a long time." Michael wondered which self she meant. The vulnerable one from breakfast? The manipulative one who seemed to need help at suspiciously convenient times? The Instagram persona with 300K followers? All of them? None of them? Monday morning, Michael woke up to a knock on his door. Emily, in her gym clothes, looking apologetic. "I know this is ridiculous, but my Bluetooth speaker died mid-workout, and I'm going crazy without music. Do you have one I could borrow?" Michael lent her his speaker. She returned it that evening with homemade cookies as a thank you. They ate the cookies while watching the sunset from his balcony, talking about their weeks ahead. Emily had a brand deal meeting, a photo shoot for a boutique in West Hollywood. Michael had a commercial shoot in Long Beach, editing work that would keep him busy most nights. "I'll miss seeing you around so much," Emily said, like they saw each other every day. Like they were a regular part of each other's routines, instead of a pattern that had developed in 2 weeks. "It's not like I'm leaving the building," Michael pointed out. "I know, but still." She leaned against the balcony railing, the evening light making her glow. "It's nice having you next door." That night, after Emily had gone back to her apartment, Marcus called. "Just checking in," he said. "Making sure you're still alive and not completely lost to whatever this is." "I'm fine." "You're not fine. You're doing the thing where you get absorbed into someone else's life. It happened with Keisha. It's happening again. It's not like that with Emily." "Then what's it like?" Michael didn't have a good answer. What was it like? Friendship felt too shallow. Dating felt too presumptuous. They hadn't kissed, hadn't crossed that line. But there was an intimacy building between them that felt more significant than physical attraction. "I don't know," he admitted. "That's what worries me." Marcus sighed. "Look, I'm not trying to be a dick. I just don't want to see you get hurt. And this girl, there's something off about her. You must feel it too." "I do. But I also think she's just trying to survive. And maybe some of her methods are questionable, but we all do questionable things. There's questionable, and then there's manipulative. Don't confuse the two." After they hung up, Michael lay in bed thinking about Marcus's words. About manipulation versus survival. About where Emily fell on that spectrum. His phone buzzed. At Emily Rose_LA, "Can't sleep. You up?" It was 1:23 a.m. Michael should have ignored the text. Should have turned off his phone and gone to sleep. "Yeah, what's up?" "Just thinking about stuff. About how much my life has changed in the last few weeks. Good changes, or bad changes. Good, I think. Scary good. Like when something feels too perfect, and you're waiting for it to fall apart. I know that feeling." 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. At Emily Rose_LA, "Thanks for being my friend, Michael. I know I'm a lot sometimes, but you never make me feel like I'm too much." Michael stared at the message, at the vulnerability in it. Real or performed, it didn't matter. It was working. "You're not too much. You're exactly enough." He sent the message before he could second-guess it, then immediately wondered if it was too much. Too revealing of feelings he wasn't sure he had. At Emily Rose_LA, "That's the nicest thing anyone said to me in a long time." At Emily Rose_LA, "Good night, Michael." There was that heart emoji again. Michael had stopped trying to decode what it meant. He fell asleep with his phone on his chest, aware of Emily on the other side of the wall, wondering what she was really thinking. What she really wanted, wondering when exactly he'd stopped caring about the answer. 2.5 weeks after Emily moved in, something shifted. Michael was editing footage in his apartment on a Thursday evening when he heard it raised voices through the wall. Emily's voice, sharp and defensive, and a male voice, equally loud, angry. The ex-boyfriend. Had to be. Michael turned down his music, trying not to eavesdrop but unable to help himself. The walls were thin enough that he could make out tone if not actual words. The conversation argument really went on for 10 minutes. Then the door to Emily's apartment slammed, and heavy footsteps passed Michael's door heading toward the elevator. Michael waited, debating whether to check on Emily, but before he could decide, his phone rang. Not a text, an actual call. Emily's name on the screen. "Hey," he answered. "I heard. Can you come over?" Her voice was shaky, tearful. "Please." Michael was through Emily's door in 30 seconds. She was sitting on her couch, mascara streaked down her face, hands shaking. The apartment showed signs of the argument, a lamp knocked over, papers scattered across the floor, one of her decorative pillows torn at the seam. "What happened?" Michael sat beside her, not touching but close enough to offer comfort. "He just showed up." Emily's voice was raw. "Started yelling about how I'm trying to ruin his life by living here. How I'm doing this to get back at him." She looked at Michael, her eyes red and swollen. He grabbed my arm. "Look!" She pushed up her sleeve. There were marks, red fingerprints on her pale skin, fresh and angry-looking. Something cold settled in Michael's chest. Whatever games Emily might be playing, this was real. "Did he hurt you anywhere else?" "No. I pushed him away, told him to leave, or I'd call the police." She pulled her sleeve back down. "He said I wasn't worth going to jail over and left." "But Michael!" Her voice cracked. "I'm scared. What if he comes back? Then you call 911. And you call me. I'm right next door. I can't ask you to. You're not asking. I'm offering." Michael pulled out his phone. "We should document this. Take photos of the marks. Make a report." "No." Emily's response was immediate, sharp. Then softer. "No police. It'll just make it worse. You don't know him, he'll use it against me somehow. Say I attacked him first or something. But you have evidence. Please." She grabbed his hand. "I just need to know you're here. That someone believes me. Can you just stay with me for a while?" Michael stayed. They sat on her couch while Emily calmed down, her breathing eventually evening out. She kept his hand in hers, her grip tight like she was afraid he'd disappear. "Thank you," she said after a long silence, "for not questioning it. My ex used to say no one would believe me if I told them what he did. That I was too manipulative, too good at playing victim." The words felt pointed, like Emily knew exactly what Michael thought about her and was addressing it directly. Smart, or manipulative, or both. "I believe you," Michael said. And he did. The marks on her arm were real. The fear in her eyes was real. Whatever else Emily was, she was also someone who'd just been hurt. "Can I ask you something?" Emily turned to face him. "Why are you so good to me? You barely know me. I showed up at your door and inserted myself into your life, and you just let me." "I don't know," Michael admitted. "Maybe I'm too nice. Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I just—" He stopped, not sure how to finish the sentence. "Maybe you just what?" "Maybe I just see something in you that's worth being nice to." Emily's eyes filled with tears again, but different tears this time. "No one's ever said that to me before." She leaned in, and Michael knew what was coming. Should have pulled back, should have maintained the boundary, should have done anything except what he did. He kissed her. It was soft at first, tentative, like they were both testing whether this was real or another performance. But then Emily's hand was in his hair, and his hand was on her waist, and it was definitely real. When they broke apart, Emily rested her forehead against his. "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. Don't apologize. But your girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, we're done. Officially done." It was true. Keisha had picked up her stuff, made it clear they were over. Michael was single. Technically, he wasn't doing anything wrong. Except he knew he was. Because kissing Emily meant admitting she'd gotten to him. Meant accepting that he was exactly where she wanted him to be. "Stay tonight?" Emily asked. "I don't want to be alone." "Not after." She gestured vaguely at her arm. Michael should have said no. Should have gone back to his apartment, called Marcus, gotten some perspective. "Okay," he said instead. "Just tonight." "Absolutely not." Michael stood in Marcus's living room, watching his friend pace. Jennifer sat on the couch, looking between them with concern. "It's just dinner," Michael said. "Emily wanted to meet you guys properly. I thought it would be good." "You thought wrong." Marcus stopped pacing, faced him directly. Mike, I told you what Tasha said. This girl is trouble. Tasha barely knows her. They were in the same Instagram circles 2 years ago. That's not exactly a reliable source. It's more reliable than whatever Emily's been telling you. Jennifer cleared her throat. I'll do it. Both men looked at her. What? Marcus said. I'll meet her. We'll do the dinner. Jennifer stood, moved to Marcus's side. Look, I get it. You're worried about your boy. But maybe meeting her will give us better insight into who she really is. Right now, we're working with secondhand information and Michael's rose-colored glasses. They're not rose-colored, Michael protested. Jennifer gave him a look. You're wearing her borrowed shirt right now. Michael looked down. She was right. Somehow Emily's clothes, or his clothes that she claimed, had started migrating into his wardrobe. Fine, Marcus said. But I'm not pretending to like her. I'm not asking you to like her. I'm asking you to give her a chance. That Saturday, they met at a restaurant in Little Tokyo. Michael got there first, nervous in a way he hadn't been since high school. This felt significant, introducing Emily to his closest friends, making her real in a way that went beyond their bubble. Emily arrived 10 minutes late, dressed in something that managed to be both understated and expensive. She'd done her makeup carefully, her hair in loose waves. She looked like her Instagram photos come to life. Sorry, she said, kissing Michael's cheek. Traffic was insane. Marcus and Jennifer arrived moments later. Michael made the introductions, watching everyone's body language carefully. Marcus's handshake was firm but brief. Jennifer was warmer, but Michael could see the assessment in her eyes. They ordered drinks. The conversation started stiff, formal. Emily asked about Jennifer's work. She was a graphic designer. Jennifer asked about Emily's influencer career. Everyone was performing politeness. Then the waiter brought their appetizers, and something shifted. Oh my God, Emily said, trying the tuna tartare. This is incredible. You have to try this. She offered her fork to Michael without thinking, an intimate gesture that didn't go unnoticed. Jennifer raised an eyebrow. So Emily, Marcus said, his tone careful. Michael mentioned you moved here from Atlanta. What brought you to LA? New start, Emily said easily. Atlanta was getting small. I dated most of the eligible guys, burned bridges with most of the influencer community. Figured LA would have more opportunities. The honesty surprised everyone, including Michael. You're upfront about the bridge burning, Jennifer observed. Why lie? I'm not proud of everything I did in Atlanta. I was younger, messier, more interested in building my following than building real relationships. Emily took a sip of her wine. But I'm trying to be different here. Be better. What changed? Marcus asked. Emily looked at Michael. I met someone who made me want to be better. Michael felt his face get warm. Across the table, Jennifer smiled, genuine this time. The dinner continued, conversation flowing more naturally. Emily was charming, self-deprecating in the right ways, interested in Marcus and Jennifer's lives without making it seem like an interrogation. By the time dessert arrived, even Marcus had softened slightly. Bathroom, Emily announced, standing. Jennifer, wanna come? The universal female code for, let's talk about the guys. Jennifer agreed, and they disappeared, leaving Marcus and Michael alone. Well, Michael asked. She's good, Marcus admitted. Really good. Either she's genuinely trying to change, or she's better at this than I thought. You still don't trust her. I don't trust that she's showing us her real self. There's something calculated about it. The way she admitted to burning bridges in Atlanta, that felt like strategy. Get ahead of a story before someone else tells it. Or maybe she's just being honest. Maybe. Marcus didn't sound convinced. But Mike, that thing Tasha said? About Emily doing this in other cities? That's not nothing. You should ask her about it. In the bathroom, Emily was reapplying lipstick while Jennifer washed her hands. Your friends are protective, Emily said. They love him. They don't want to see him hurt. And they think I'm going to hurt him. Are you? Jennifer met Emily's eyes in the mirror. Emily was quiet for a moment. I don't know. I don't want to. But I have a history of ruining good things. She capped her lipstick. Michael's different, though. He makes me want to be the person he thinks I am. That's a lot of pressure to put on someone. I know. Emily turned to face Jennifer directly. Can I be real with you? Woman to woman. Sure. I know what I look like. I know my Instagram makes me seem shallow and materialistic. And maybe I am those things sometimes. But I'm also just trying to survive, build something for myself. And Michael, he doesn't make me feel like I have to perform. Like I can just be. Jennifer studied her for a long moment. If you hurt him, Marcus will make your life difficult. Just so you know. I appreciate the honesty. Emily smiled. And if I hurt him, I'll deserve it. They returned to find the guys in better spirits, talking about basketball. The rest of the dinner was easy, comfortable. When they said goodbye outside the restaurant, Jennifer hugged Emily. A real hug, not a polite air kiss. In the Uber home, Emily leaned against Michael's shoulder. I think that went well. Yeah, Jennifer liked you. Marcus is still suspicious. Marcus is suspicious of everyone. It's his default setting. Emily was quiet for a moment. He asked me about Atlanta. About what I meant by burning bridges. What did you tell him? The truth. That I dated a lot of guys who helped me build my following. That I wasn't always honest about what I wanted from them. That I left because I'd exhausted my options there. She looked up at him. Does that bother you? That I've used people before? Michael thought about the question. It should bother him. Would have bothered him a month ago. But now, everyone uses people sometimes, he said. The question is whether you're using me. And what's your answer to that question? I don't know yet. Emily smiled, sad knowing. At least you're honest. Back at the building, they stood in the hallway between their apartments. Emily's hand was in his, her thumb tracing circles on his palm. Want to come in? She asked. I should probably. I know. Early shoot tomorrow. Work stuff. She kissed him, slow and deep. Rain check. Rain check. Michael went into his apartment, closed the door, and immediately pulled out his phone. He opened Instagram, found Tasha's profile through Marcus's followers. Her photos showed a fit black woman in her late 20s, lots of gym selfies and inspirational quotes. Atlanta in her bio. He could send her a message. Ask about Emily. Get the full story. But did he really want to know? His phone buzzed. Emily, thank you for tonight. Your friends are great. You're great. I'm lucky to have you in my life. Michael stared at the message, at that heart emoji that had become their thing. He closed Tasha's profile without sending a message. He was making a choice. To trust Emily, to believe in the version of herself she was showing him, to ignore the red flags his friends kept pointing out. It was probably a mistake, but it was his mistake to make. 3 days later, Emily posted a photo. It wasn't obviously about Michael, just a shot of her coffee cup next to someone else's. Both cups in focus, but the background blurred. The caption, Simple mornings with someone who gets me. Michael saw it during his lunch break, his phone buzzing with notifications as people he barely knew started following him. Then the DM started. At Sarah_fitness_journey. OMG, is Emily dating someone? Who's the mystery guy? At Brandon Collins. Bro, is that your coffee cup? You and Emily? His phone rang. Marcus. Did you see it? Marcus asked. Just did. And you're okay with this? Her basically announcing your relationship to 300,000 people without asking. Michael hadn't thought about it like that. Emily had mentioned wanting to post about the new person in her life, but Michael had assumed she'd ask first. Check if he was comfortable being part of her public narrative. It's just coffee cups, Michael said. It's never just coffee cups with Instagram people. Everything is content. Everything is calculated. Marcus sighed. Look, I'm not trying to be a dick. But you should talk to her about boundaries. About what you're comfortable having on social media. After they hung up, Michael stared at the post. 1,847 likes already. Comments flooding in, people trying to figure out who the lucky guy was. Emily had tagged the coffee shop but no person. Kept it mysterious, kept people guessing. Smart. Or manipulative. As always with Emily, the line was blurry. He texted her, saw the post. Cute coffee cups. Emily, you mad? I should have asked first. I'm sorry. Not mad. Just surprised. Emily, can I come over tonight? Want to talk about it properly. She showed up at 7 p.m. with Thai food and an apologetic expression. I should have asked, she said immediately. I got excited and posted without thinking. If you want me to take it down, I don't want you to take it down. No. No. But Marcus is right. We should talk about boundaries. About what I'm comfortable with. They sat on his couch, food spread between them. Emily pulled her knees to her chest, looking smaller than usual in his oversized hoodie. My whole life is online, she said. I know that's weird to people who aren't in that world. But my Instagram is how I make money, how I connect with my audience, how I exist in a way that matters. And when good things happen to me, she gestured between them. I want to share them, but I also know that's selfish if you're not comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable with my face being out there, Michael said. Or my name. Work stuff. I need clients to take me seriously, and if they Google me and find a bunch of relationship drama with an influencer. I get it. I do. Emily nodded. What if I keep it vague? Coffee cups, hands, silhouettes, nothing identifying. That way I can share that I'm happy without exposing you. That works for me. And I'll always ask before posting anything that includes you. Even vaguely. Okay. Emily relaxed, uncurling slightly. Thank you for not being weird about it. My ex used to flip out every time I posted anything that even hinted at our relationship. Said I was trying to make him jealous or using him for content. Were you? The question came out before Michael could stop it. Emily went still. Sometimes, she admitted. When things were bad between us, yeah. I'd post things to get a reaction. Make him jealous. Remind him that other people found me desirable even if he was treating me like shit. She met Michael's eyes. I'm not proud of that, but I'm trying to be honest with you. Honest. That word kept coming up. Emily's honesty felt like armor, admitting to smaller sins to hide bigger ones, or just genuine attempts at growth. I appreciate that, Michael said. They ate their Thai food, talked about other things. Emily's upcoming brand deal with a skincare company. Michael's documentary project that he was trying to get funded. Normal couple stuff. Except they weren't a couple. Not officially. They'd kissed, spent nights together, though nothing beyond kissing and sleeping existed in this liminal space between friends and something more. Can I ask you something? Emily said during a lull. And you can tell me if it's too fast or too much. Okay. What are we doing? This. She gestured between them. I know we're taking it slow and I respect that. But I need to know if we're building toward something or if this is just casual for you. Michael thought about Keisha. About 3 years of on and off, of never quite committing, of always keeping one foot out the door. He told himself it was because he wasn't ready, because the timing wasn't right. But maybe he just never felt certain enough. With Emily, nothing was certain. Every interaction came with questions. But somehow he kept choosing her anyway. I don't know what we're building toward, he said honestly. But I know I'm not casual about you. Emily smiled, real and unguarded. That's enough for now. She stayed until midnight, curled against him on the couch while they watched some nature documentary Michael had queued up. At some point her hand found his, fingers interlacing like it was the most natural thing in the world. When she finally left, Michael stood in his doorway watching her unlock her apartment. She looked back, blew him a kiss, disappeared inside. His phone buzzed before he'd even closed his door. Emily, thank you for tonight. For being patient with me. For seeing me. Michael saved the message, closed his phone, and tried to ignore the voice in his head that sounded suspiciously like Marcus asking when he completely lost his mind. The next morning, Michael woke to chaos on his phone. Overnight, Emily's coffee cup post had exploded. 47,000 likes. Thousands of comments. And someone had figured out it was him. At gossipgirl_LA, pretty sure at Emily Rose_LA's mystery man is her neighbor Michael Chen. Check his IG. Same coffee mug in his stories from last week. You're welcome. The comment had 3,000 likes. Michael's Instagram had gained 5,000 followers overnight. His DMs were flooded with messages from strangers. Some congratulatory, some creepy, some asking if Emily was really as high maintenance as she seemed. His phone rang. His sister, Melody. Why didn't you tell me you were dating an influencer? She demanded. Good morning to you too. Michael. I'm serious. I had 3 people send me her Instagram this morning asking if it was really you. When were you going to mention this? It's new. And complicated. How complicated? Melody. Does she know about Keisha? Does Keisha know about her? Have you thought about what happens when this girl's followers start digging into your life? Michael hadn't thought about that last part. Hadn't considered that Emily's 300,000 followers might become interested in him, might start looking into his background, his work, his past relationships. I need to go, he said. I have a shoot. Michael, wait. He hung up, immediately feeling guilty but too overwhelmed to process. His phone kept buzzing. More followers, more comments, more people having opinions about his life. Emily, I'm so sorry. I had no idea people would figure it out. Want me to say something? Clear it up. What would you say? Emily, that you're a private person and people should respect that. That my relationship is nobody's business but mine. Won't that just make it worse? Emily, probably. But at least you'll know I tried. Michael stared at his phone, at the mess his life had become overnight. This was his fault. He'd known who Emily was, what her life was like, and he'd chosen to get involved anyway. His phone rang again. Unknown number. Hello. Hi, is this Michael Chen? I'm calling from TMZ. We'd love to comment on your relationship with Emily Ross. Michael hung up. TMZ. Fucking TMZ. He called Emily. I need to see you, he said when she answered. Now. She was at his door in 3 minutes, hair wet from the shower, wearing the t-shirt of his sheet claimed as hers. I'm sorry, she said immediately. I should have been more careful. Should have known someone would figure it out. Did you want them to figure it out? The question came out harsher than he intended. Emily flinched. What? Same coffee mug I'd posted on my stories. You had to know someone would make the connection. I didn't. She stopped, seemed to actually think about it. Maybe subconsciously I did. Maybe I wanted to claim you publicly. But Michael, I swear I didn't do it intentionally. TMZ just called me. Shit. Yeah. Shit. Michael ran his hand over his head. I can't do this. The public thing. The speculation and gossip and strangers having opinions about my life. That's not me. I know. I know it's not. Emily moved closer, but didn't touch him. Tell me what you need. I'll do it. Take down the post. Post a clarification, whatever. Just tell me what you need. Michael wanted to tell her to fix it. Make it go away. Undo the last 12 hours. But that wasn't possible. The internet didn't forget. I need space, he said. Just for today. To think. Okay. Emily's voice was small. But Michael, whatever you decide. I'm sorry. Really sorry. She left, closing the door quietly behind her. Michael sat on his couch, phone in his hand, watching his follower count rise. Watching strangers dissect his relationship with someone he barely knew himself. Marcus was right. Jennifer was right. His sister was right. He should end this before it got worse. But even as he thought it, he knew he wouldn't. Michael spent the day ignoring his phone. He went to a shoot in Long Beach, a commercial for a local furniture store, mindless work that let his brain turn off. The client was happy, the footage was good, and for 4 hours, Michael didn't think about Emily or Instagram or TMZ. But in the quiet moments between setups, his mind wandered. To Emily's face when he'd asked for space. To Marcus's warnings. To the impossibility of dating someone whose life was public by design. By the time he got home at 6 p.m., he'd made up his mind. He needed to end this. Clean break, before things got messy. He was rehearsing what to say when he saw Emily in the hallway, carrying groceries. Hey, she said, cautious. How was your shoot? Good. Fine. That's good. She shifted the bags. Listen, I meant what I said this morning. About doing whatever you need. I took down the post. Posted a story saying that my personal life is private and I'd appreciate people respecting that. It won't make it go away completely, but... You took down the post? Yeah. It had almost 50,000 likes, but you're more important than engagement numbers. She said it simply, like it was obvious. Michael's rehearsed breakup speech dissolved. You didn't have to do that. I did, though. Because you asked for space and I gave you more chaos instead. Emily set down her grocery bags, faced him fully. Look, I know I'm a lot. I know my life is messy and public and probably more drama than you want to deal with. And if you want out, I get it. But I need you to know that what we have, it's real for me. You're real. Not content, not strategy. Just real. She was crying. Not the practiced, photogenic crying from her late-night visit weeks ago. Actual crying, messy and raw and real. Emily, I'm in love with you. The words tumbled out, rushed, desperate. I know it's too soon and too fast and probably too much, but I am. And I know that terrifies you because I terrify you, but I needed to say it before you. Michael kissed her. Captivated by Michael and Emily's story? You've only scratched the surface. The complete novel reveals all the shocking twists, manipulations, and that jaw-dropping ending you won't see coming. Get Locked Out for just $2.99 on Amazon KDP. Link in the description below. Your purchase doesn't just give you the full story, it supports independent authors pursuing their passion. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. I've got more addictive, thrilling stories coming your way. See you in the next one.